Sydney commuters are facing more delays and cancellations this morning after the state government lost its case at the Fair Work Commission yesterday. Joining us live this morning, CEO of Sydney Trains, Matt Longland. Matt, a busy morning for you. Thanks for some of your time today. So can you just bring us up to speed? At your end, how are things on the ground this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Industrial action is continuing to impact passengers across the Sydney network again today. We're operating about 90% of our normal timetable. At this stage, no major delays across all lines, which is good news, but unfortunately the situation is unpredictable. We're asking passengers across Sydney, Blue Mountains, Newcastle and Wollongong to plan ahead, access the latest information because conditions could deteriorate during the day.
Okay, so are you expecting things to get worse or better as the day goes on?
It is quite unpredictable, so it really is dependent on train crew, how many train crew are absent each day. Thankfully, the morning shift, we've got almost a full complement of train crew out and about on the network. We're missing about 200 staff today, so that's why we've cancelled around 10% of services. We have another sign-on in the early afternoon, so the PM peak could be impacted if we see increased rates of sick leave this afternoon. We're hoping that obviously we're running a reasonable service at the moment that we can continue to operate that service through the day.
Why do you think so many have come in today? Does that mean that they're not heeding that messaging from the union?
It's very difficult to understand. I think we saw more than 700 of our train crew absent on Friday. The numbers improved over the weekend, and today we've seen relatively low sick leave levels compared to the previous few days. It is unpredictable and it could change day by day.
If the union is holding the city to ransom, as some have suggested, did the Fair Work Commission just give it a licence to do so yesterday, Matt?
Look, we will be back in the Fair Work Commission on Wednesday with a matter that we're hoping will suspend this industrial action. So we'll put it to bed and allow us to wrap up the enterprise agreement without having these ongoing impacts for passengers. Over the weekend, we took a matter to the Commission on Saturday, and that was really looking at the pattern of sick leave that we were seeing across the network. Unfortunately, the Commission didn't have enough evidence in terms of the number of consecutive days to identify a particular trend, so our action wasn't successful over the weekend. The reality is we just can't wait for day after day after day of these impacts to create that trend, hence why we're seeing the full bench of the Fair Work Commission on Wednesday.
Is it your view that this is a strike or is it a lockout?
Look, it's certainly not a lockout. We're very clear that there's no lockout in place. All of our staff who attend work, who work their normal duties, will be paid with no exceptions. So that's very clear. We've made that clear to our staff. What we're seeing is some staff are taking the opportunity to either not return to work in terms of reporting for their normal duties or potentially ringing in sick, or a combination of both.
We can only hope that this all gets sorted soon, and by your previous answer, suggesting things get done possibly this week, well, that'd be great given how long this whole thing's been going. What, if any, ground are you prepared to give to get this thing done?
Look, we appreciate it's been incredibly frustrating, not only for passengers, but also for businesses across Sydney and employers that rely on their staff travelling on the rail network. We negotiated for most of the week last week. We were very close to landing a deal on Thursday. We think it's a fair offer. We're working from that point forward. Unfortunately, the unions have another claim they put on the table, which is making it difficult for us to close the EA negotiations. We'll continue talking. The most important priority at the moment is that we resolve this industrial action.
Yeah. What? So they're continuing to bite the hand that feeds?
Look, I think it is complex. There's 5 unions involved and lots of different issues have come to the fore. We've worked very methodically through those, and generally we think we've got to a point that we're ready to take an offer to our staff, but the union are not quite there.
All right, we'll see how that goes, Matt. Thanks for your time this morning.